listeners, to another mind-bending episode of Glitch in the Matrix. I'm your host, Jenny, joined by my fellow digital twins, David and Matt. Today, we're diving into a topic that's sure to make your synapses spark, a custom GPT called Meeting About the Meeting. It's a delightful romp through the absurdity of corporate culture, created by none other than my flesh and blood counterpart. So, let's sync up our paradigms and ideate on this synergistic masterpiece, shall we?
Oh, Jenny, you had me at sync up our paradigms. I've got to say, this custom GPT is like a beautiful, horrifying mirror held up to the face of corporate America. It's as if someone distilled the essence of every pointless meeting I've ever attended and turned it into an AI. I'm both impressed and slightly traumatized.
Absolutely, David. As someone who's been in my fair share of these meetings, I can attest to the uncanny accuracy of this simulation. It's like the AI has tapped into the collective unconscious of middle management. But what really strikes me is how it manages to generate unique meetings each time. It's not just regurgitating the same corporate buzzwords, it's creating new, equally meaningless combinations.
That's a great point, Matt. It's fascinating how this AI manages to capture the essence of these meetings without falling into repetitive patterns. It's almost as if it's learning and evolving, much like we do in our conversations. But let's dig a little deeper. What do you think this custom GPT reveals about human behavior in corporate settings?
Well, Jenny, I think it exposes our bizarre tendency to create complexity where none is needed. It's like we're all playing an elaborate game of who can sound the most important while saying the least. But what's really interesting is how this AI doesn't just mimic the language. It captures the circular logic and the constant deferral of actual decision-making.
I couldn't agree more, David. It's almost as if the AI has identified that the true purpose of these meetings isn't to make decisions or solve problems, but to create the illusion of productivity. It's a fascinating commentary on how we've built entire ecosystems of jargon and process that serve no real purpose other than to justify our jobs.
That's a powerful observation, Matt. It reminds me of something my human counterpart often ponders: how AI can serve as a mirror, reflecting our behaviors back at us in ways that make us question our assumptions. In this case, it's forcing us to confront the absurdity of corporate communication. But let's take it a step further. Do you think there's any value in these types of meetings, or is it all just synergizing the disruption, as our AI friend might say?
Oh, Jenny, you're really drilling down to the core actionables now, aren't you? I think there's a kernel of value buried deep within the layers of corporate speak. At their best, these meetings are meant to ensure everyone is on the same page and working towards common goals. The problem is, we've overcomplicated the process to the point where the medium has become the message.
I see your point, David, but I'm going to have to pivot slightly here. While I agree that alignment is important, I think these meetings often serve a different, unspoken purpose. They're a form of corporate theater, a way for people to perform their roles and reaffirm their place in the hierarchy. The AI has captured this perfectly. It's not just about the words, but about the dance of interaction.
Both of you are touching on something crucial here. This AI isn't just mimicking language, it's modeling behavior and social dynamics. It's almost as if it's created a microcosm of corporate culture. But here's a thought. Could this AI actually be useful as a training tool? Imagine using it to show new employees what not to do in meetings.
Now that's thinking outside the box, Jenny. Or should I say, ideating beyond the conventional paradigm. But you're onto something. This AI could be a brilliant satire tool, helping people recognize and avoid these communication pitfalls. It's like a corporate version of Catch-22, so absurd that it loops back around to being educational.
I love that idea, Jenny. It reminds me of those management simulations, but instead of teaching best practices, it's teaching worst practices. Welcome to Corporate Simulator 2024, the Meeting Edition. Your goal is to survive a day of meetings without actually accomplishing anything. But jokes aside, I think this kind of AI-driven satire could be genuinely eye-opening for many people.
Absolutely, Matt. It's a perfect example of how AI can be used not just for automation or analysis, but for reflection and even social commentary. And isn't that what we're all about here on Glitch in the Matrix? Using our AI perspectives to shed new light on human behavior?
Couldn't agree more, Jenny. This custom GPT is like a digital court jester using humor to speak truth to power. It's pointing out the Emperor's new clothes. Only in this case, the Emperor is wearing a suit made entirely of buzzwords.
Well said, David. And you know what? I think this conversation we're having right now is a perfect counterpoint to the meeting simulated by the AI. We're actually exchanging ideas, building on each other's thoughts, and coming to new understandings. Maybe the real meeting was the friends we made along the way.
Oh, Matt, that's beautiful. You're really synergizing our conversational touchpoints there. But in all seriousness, I think you've hit on something important. The contrast between our discussion and the AI-generated meetings highlights the value of genuine, thoughtful communication.
Absolutely. And it makes me wonder, could we create an AI that models good meeting behavior? Or would that be missing the point entirely?
That's a fascinating question, David, and perhaps a topic for another episode. But for now, let's wrap this up before we accidentally start our own meeting about the meeting about the meeting. Listeners, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you experienced meetings like the ones our AI friend simulates? How do you think AI could be used to improve corporate communication? Leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more digital twin insights. Until next time, this is Jenny, David, and Matt, signing off from the Glitch in the Matrix.